Well, everybody, here we are, the finale of my freshman year. We're going to play through a couple games this year, and they will wrap up my freshman campaign. First, we traveled down to Waco to play the Baylor Bears. The only other time we faced Baylor so far this year ended in a win for us, so we're trying to sweep the season series against these guys. We're up one early, and I decided to go to work early on my offensive attack. There's a layup right there. I already record a basket, nice assist from Mitch Drew. Of course, Baylor's a pretty decent defensive team, and they got that 7'1" shot blocking extraordinaire Clayton Anthony inside, but I attack him right away. As my second assist is a layup that I float over top of him. Now it's 18-14 as I get a screen from Robert Saunders. Once again, I take it all the way. NBA scouts are going to want to see guys like me that are only, 5'10", 5'11", undersized. They're going to want to see me attack guys like this and not be afraid and being able to be crafty in there and finish over the taller defenders. Speaking of that, I haven't talked too much about the NBA since I've been at UT, and I feel like if I came out this year, I'd still go undrafted. I feel like another year of school is going to be right for me as I have a nice no-look pass out to Albert Ford there. But yeah, I think another year at UT would do me some good. Speaking of the other guys, Deshaun, Donovan, and Ferran, I feel like if any of those guys haven't even decided what they want to do yet. But I feel like if they'd all come out this year, I feel like they could all be at least first-round picks. But anyway, back to the gameplay. We'll talk more about the NBA later at the end of the episode. 32-26 game going into the halftime, and we're playing pretty well as a team. Only allowing 26 points and a half is pretty decent in terms of the defensive side of the ball. And we're doing a good job scoring at a decent pace as well, putting up 32. We just need to share the ball a little bit more. Not many assists as a team. That's partly to put on me, of course, because I'm the main facilitator. So I decided right out of the gates to get everybody else involved. Mitchell Drew only having 7 points in that first half. He's the top scorer on the team. And we trap Clayton Anthony, force him to create a bad turnover there. As Chris Hines tries it from the top of the key, no good, but Robert Saunders, he had a really good episode in this one. He finished out his freshman campaign very well, as these UT natives are very excited for this freshman class coming in, and me, Robert Saunders, Albert Ford at times has shown flashes. We've all delivered as I step out and make that 17-foot jump shot from the top of the key. 7-point game as a good contest there from Saunders out on the perimeter. I managed to get a rebound there. I'm only averaging about 1.5 rebounds a game, which is a little disappointing, as Mitchell Drew comes up the court, gets the N1. As we're trying to take control of this game, we've had some trouble getting rid of these Baylor Bears. As now, just like that, a run by Baylor makes it 55-53. But Chris Hines, his impact cannot be understated either. I'm going to miss his spot-up shooting next year, as he is, of course, a senior. So his time in a Texas uniform is numbered, as he gets an N1 right here, back-to-back 3-point scores, as he would also make the free throw. You see, he gets hacked by Jermaine Sims inside, but still manages to fight through the contact. And man, his shooting stroke is silky, to say the least. That one would go off the rim and bounce out, but of course it's hard to play defense on that 7'1" big guy, Clayton Anthony, who might be playing in an NBA uniform in a couple years. Mitchell Drew, however, with a monumental 3-point shot, as he now is above 20 points. As it's now a 7-point game, this attack to the basket would be the final dagger. It should be if I can make 2 of 2. And I got fouled a lot this game. I'm really starting to take it in strong. Whenever I was a little younger, maybe in high school, you guys saw me in high school, I was always a little shy going into contact. I didn't finish well through contact, but now I've put on some muscle in my freshman year. I'm up to about $170. I was only about 150 my freshman year. And now I'm starting to fight through contact a lot better. I'm not as afraid of drawing contact as I make another pull-up jump shot there, 14 to my name in this game. Not much Baylor can do as they force up a shot that would rim out, and we take the season series against the Baylor Bears here, defeating them on their home court in a 77-69 victory for your Texas Longhorns. As in this game, I made it look easy. 14 points, 7 assists, 60% from the floor, but I was 0 of 1 from 3. That's one thing I need to start bringing up now, is my 3-point shot You know, I was flirting with 50% there for a while from beyond the arc. Of course, I didn't shoot much, but still, I was very efficient, but I'm starting to miss a lot more from outside, so I'm starting to cut down on my attempts from out there. I'm starting to cool off and come down to earth a little bit. Now, in between this game and the Oklahoma game, we played 2 games, one against Texas A&M, and that was a slogfest, really. A really ugly game, but we did pull it out. Texas A&M, that's the type of style of ball they play, you know? And we also lost the game against Texas Tech. So we were 1-1 in between this game and the Baylor game. But here we go. The Red River Shootout. We're trying to get revenge for Oklahoma beating us early on this season, as they actually handed us our first loss in Big 12 play. We were undefeated, but we came into their gym, you know, too complacent, and we ended up dropping that game. I get blocked here early, but Anaganya has my back, and we get started early on the scoreboard, 2-0 game. It'll be a 4-2 game on this one, this possession, and I bring the double team over to me, and that will leave Chris Hines wide open, surprisingly, as he makes good on that 3-point attempt like he so often does. The emerging play of Chris Hines this season cannot go unstated, as he probably should have got free throws right there. His slashing's really improved, but don't forget what type of style of team we're facing. I remember in the first matchup against these Sooners, they were very physical, and that was one of the reasons why we took that L, as it ends up in a 3 on the other end of the court. But yeah, we definitely need to start banging with these guys, as Chris Hines, on the second attempt, this time he gets double teamed. Just simple basketball right there. I come right behind him, and he tosses it out to me. I make that 15-foot jump shot, as it's now 7s here. I'm trying to take their big men to the rack, and Chris Hines is wide open in the corner, as he already has 5 points. Tied up again, still in that 2-3 zone, as now it's Mitchell Drew carving up that zone, and he'll make good on that 3-point attempt, as we've got our triple working early. Everybody making good from downtown so far. Now here's an attempt from me trying to get into the offensive fun. It would rim out, but a little bit of luck right there, as Badianye, their big center inside, was a little too eager to grab that rebound, as it would be defensive goaltending, I guess you could say. If you're going to beat a rival like Oklahoma, you got to have some good fortune on your side, and that's what we were gifted right there. As I try to attack right there, I'd get blocked, but on the second effort, I pull it out, and with the shot clock winding down, I go to work. I cross over, I try to drive past him, and I pull up from the free throw line with the hand in my face. 6 points on the game. I'm going to have to make shots like that if I'm going to get looks from NBA teams. As I cut inside past Isaac Ashley, a little give and go action right there, as he will get the bounce. Isaac Ashley starting to display a very nice touch from around the rim, as he's another freshman to keep an eye on. And look at him from way downtown. That's the type of aspect that Isaac Ashley brings that Robert Saunders doesn't. Ashley has good touch from everywhere on the court. And look at this right here. This is an aspect that Anaganye brings, as he sends this one to the 3rd row, but called for the foul unbelievably, despite Chris Hines getting hacked before on his drive and not getting called. So anyway, going into the break, we hold a 9-point cushion. A balanced game so far for me. 8 points, 5 assists, chipping in a steal as well. And our first offensive possession of the second half, that's a part of my game I want to get better. I missed the floater right there, and it would lead to a fast break for Oklahoma. They don't score on this possession, but still, I really want to get that floater more consistent. Because, like I said, I need to do something different every time I go to the basket at the NBA level if I'm only going to be 5'10", 5'11". As Chris Hines has possession inside, and I feed him on a layup. Good team defense here in the second half, as they have not scored very much here, as this will lead to an and one. Fighting through the contact once again, becoming one of the best finishers in the Big 12. And like I said, that team defense is really propelling us forward, as I'll step up to the free throw line, as I've been pretty much automatic all year from the free throw line, over 80%. And we've only managed to allow 13 points in the second half as a team to the Oklahoma Sooners. As I record my second steal of the game, I would step back, hand it off to Anaganye. He would give it back to me, and I see Mitchell Drew wide open. I had a jump shot there from the free throw line, but I give that up. I give up the good shot to create the better shot, which is exactly what you want to see from a point guard at this level. As look at the shot Mitchell Drew takes and makes right here with 2 hands in his face. That's NBA level basketball right there, NBA range I should say, as Mitchell Drew has NBA aspirations of his own. And I look at this guy, I get their big men leaning. I take it to the basket and Badianye will hack me there. 2 more free throws, that one rattles in. And yeah, my free throws have been very consistent overall. I'll put my free throws in a stat later on in the episode at the end of the season whenever I show you every single stat of mine, as I make 2 of 2 there as well. 3:46 left to play, 13-point game. It seems that we've got our revenge as I go to the line once again as I cut through the paint, wide open in the middle of that zone, and 2 more free throws. Just padding my stat at this point, really. Nothing much more than that. So I take 3 more dribbles, I collect myself, and make another one. I'm very consistent from the free throw line as we're playing good team defense today. They haven't even eclipsed 50 points yet as we grab another steal. This one I take all the way, almost another and one, but it'd be 2 more free throws, 2 more opportunities I'd get from the charity stripe. Almost another and one off of another good interior defender. I'd make 1 or 2 there, and we'd finish off this game winning 65-57. I was also the top player of the game nominee as I put up 16, had 8 assists, 2 steals, 4 turnovers. Gotta cut those down a little bit. I'm hovering around 2 turnovers a game for the season, which is pretty solid. But, you know, there's some games where I can be a little erratic with those. Now, finally, we won our game against Kansas State, lost against Texas Tech, won against Nebraska. So we're 2-1 in between games between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. It's now senior day. We're taking on the Cowboys, who we've beaten once pretty good before early on in the season, 89-51. And the Cowboys are still pretty good, 19-9. They could be in the top 25 soon. They have a very potent offense. Of course, we've seen it before, but Anthony Tucker, that short, stocky point guard that's good on defense, that was pretty solid in the first game, he's actually injured right now, so we won't be seeing him. So, you know, maybe I'll be able to take advantage of some other bench point guard they'll have starting. Senior day, so Chris Hines is a senior. Justin Proctor is the only other senior on the squad who I actually have not shared the court much with lately. But don't worry, senior day is all about getting those guys some playing time, so they'll at least see the court today, which is always fun. Sometimes senior day is, you know, a matchup where a team can just blow out the other squad out of the water, but that is not the case today. These Cowboys are not a team we can take lightly, even though we almost beat them by 50 points on their home court early on this year. But here we go. Facing up against number 1 Khalil Workman, who's actually a decent player, standing at 6'5". You know, a complete 180 from the 5'10", 210, you know, Anthony Tucker. But here we go. 5-4 game here early on, as I see the big guy on me, Leon Delaney's trying to cover me up at the perimeter. I put on a hesitation move, and guess what I begin with this game with? You know, an and one. Just constant and ones every game. Even if I'm not getting an and one, I'm at least getting to the line frequently. Ever since that Kansas game where I had those 2 clutch and ones at the end of the game that almost propelled us to the upset win, that's really gifted me the confidence to attack the paint more. No good there, but the play of Robert Saunders proved to be very vital in this one. Saunders has 7 points already. He's the only guy to score other than me so far. And I feed him again at the top of the key. 9 points for him in this game. 21-18 now as they miss a jump shot. We're running the break again. It's a one-on-one as I jump stop, get 2 guys up in the air, more free throws for me. My free throw totals have been skyrocketing here at the end of the season. I'm improving drawing fouls, like I said, and here we go. 2 more at the line. These are just free points. Whenever you're a good free throw shooter and you get fouled a lot, I mean, there's so many things that can open up. Open up so many opportunities for yourself and your teammates. And it's easy to take jump shots too because guys sag off and they expect you to drive and take it all the way if you're a good finisher. but not on this one. I stopped short on the break. That one will rattle in. That's 7 points for me against these Oklahoma State Cowboys. I put up 12 points and 5 assists the last time we played these Cowboys, and now I get a reaching foul. I stay strong with the ball. He hits my arm, and we're in the bonus, so I hit to the free throw line, and the front end of the 1-and-1 goes in. Off 2 chances, of course, and yeah, like I said, I had 12 and 5 against the Cowboys last time, and I'm already at 9 points here in the first half, so I'm looking to break those totals this time around. That 3 would go, but quickly we would inbound the ball, and I would break this press. I get pressured one-on-one in the backcourt, but all it takes is a little hesitation move, and I get some space weaving through the entire defense. Leon Delaney's too slow, and I'm already up to 11 points here in this first half of play. And at the end, 35-31. Much closer game, much more competitive game, as last time we were up by 20 points at the end of the half. We were up 44-24, but it's a little bit more competitive this time, as I have 11 and 2, and I know it's senior day, but look at the young guys, the young bloods. We got our fingerprints all over this game. I have 11, and Robert Saunders, the other freshman, has 9. But if you want to see an example of me doing little things, look at this IQ right here. Look, it's hard to tell on this. It might just look like an ordinary layup, but there's a lot of footwork that goes into this. Let's slow it down. See, this guy could have an easy chase down block or poke it loose, but I drive in front of him. I keep him on my back hip, and I go up strong with the right hand. Shielding the ball is so important at this level, as the very next possession, I throw in a dime to Anaganye, who posters the entire defense. And I even poke that one loose, as I'm everywhere on defense. A spin move, and this one I would just take it baseline, and a little fake would be all I needed to make the lead up to 5 now, 15 points, but I would actually get off the court. I would get subbed out after that layup, and we would go on a little run. So the lead's just like that, up to 13 with me off the court. And I have the big man on me once again, and I get hacked. Just needed a little step, and that big man is too slow, so he's forced to foul me. More free throws would occur as I make 1 of 2 there. Our defense has been really solid here in the second half. We finally corral that steal, and instead of taking the layup, I do the unselfish play. Give it into Mitchell Drew. I see cutting, and it's a 66-53 ball game as time winds down. Mitchell Drew wide open from mid-range. 5 assists for me. 15-point game now with a minute and a half left. I'm just dribbling out the clock, but I see Robert Saunders has position inside, so I dump it down to him, and he converts with the and one. I mean, that's basically the cherry on top of this game. We're going to go into the conference tournament with a win over Oklahoma State, as we beat these guys pretty good twice this year. And when it's all said and done, 73-56 will be your final. I cannot wait for the conference tournament, and I cannot wait for the NCAAs. I led Texas in scoring, 17 points. I led Texas in assists, 5 points. Chipped in 3 rebounds. It says I have 0 steals, but all the deflections I had, and I'm surprised I didn't record any steals officially. 0 turnovers too. Perfect from the free throw line. Overall, just a solid game. And I'm really cementing myself as one of the top emergers here in the Big 12. My final stats for the regular season in my freshman campaign so far, 11 points per game. That's really skyrocketed. 6.2 assists, which is already 3rd in the Big 12. And I didn't even start at the beginning of the year. Over 1 steal a game. I'm around 50% from the floor. My 3-point percentage is now 38%. So still not bad, but it's declining. 50 made free throws on 60 attempts. 83% shooting from the line. On 1.9 turnovers per game. Now we're looking at the media poll going into the conference tournaments. We are now 11 in the nation, our highest ranking, just behind Arizona. Unfortunately, we are far from the top where Duke and Deshaun lie. Unfortunately, NC State's kind of regressed a little bit. They cooled off because Donovan's dealing with he's playing hurt right now. He's dealing with a little injury, so NC State's bounced outside of the top 25. We are going to be the 2nd seed going into the conference tournament. Both Kansas and Texas were 13-3, but of course they win the tiebreaker whenever they beat us on our court on that buzzer beater, which still haunts me at night. Sometimes I can't sleep because I'm too busy thinking about that. And we're going to look at bracketology. Now, if you're unfamiliar, if you're a college basketball fan, a casual one, bracketology is, the projected, brackets on who's on the bubble, who's going to make it, who's going to get left out. And right now, we're projected as a 4 seed, which I want to get up to the 3-2, seed range. So going, to the finals, or winning this entire Big 12 tournament and getting our revenge on Kansas is probably what we're going to need to be even in the discussion for a 3rd or 2nd seed. So all these games that we're going to play are very crucial, even the early round ones. Deshaun Christian and the Duke Blue Devils, of course, #1 in the nation. He's liking his time up in Duke country, but he's discussed with me about transferring a little bit because, he's starting to get sick of not getting the opportunities he desires. Some of those guys are seniors. Renfro's a senior, the All-American, so he'll get more chances next year if he decides to stay, but he's going to think about it. Donovan, of course, dealing with the injury. He's still averaging 11. He really does it all. He fills the stat sheet and whatever you need. And if, he hasn't talked about it much to me yet, but if he goes out in the NBA draft after his freshman campaign, he will be like a mid-first round selection. So he'll be, I've seen in mock drafts he's been projected, pick through 8 through 18. I've seen him in numerous spots. And for Farhan, you guys already know he's trying to be the first Pakistan-born player in the NBA. He actually tells me how he really wants to leap after his first year, and I've seen him in the similar spot. I think I've seen him from around pick 14 to pick 20. Probably I've seen him in a few even higher than that, so it might be a good move for him too. He's still leading the Pac-12 in steals per game, and he's got the deadly 3 ball. He passes at a very efficient rate. He's in Arizona's doing great as a team. But finally, we're gonna look at the brackets. Kansas is the top seed, of course. They'll play either Colorado or ISU. Tech versus Kansas State. They'll play Oklahoma State, and they're the 4th seed. Now jumping down to where we're spotted at seed #2, and where we're going to face either the winner of Missouri or Texas A&M. Baylor and Oklahoma are going to face Nebraska, who is the 3 seed. I cannot wait to get this conference tournament underway. That's coming in the next game. And then in the next video after that, we're going to do March Madness. So I got a lot of exciting tournament play coming for you guys. Stay tuned. It's going to be a wild finish to this freshman season.